Council President Georgette Gomez, Todd Walters, who is president of the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, Local 135, and Jim Hayes, who is founder of Stay Home San Diego, a nonprofit that is providing services to those in need. San Diegans continue to unite in the fight against COVID-19. And we've seen the tremendous efforts that have taken place across our city, from city workers to public safety professionals, helping residents, to San Diegans delivering supplies to their neighbors, to local companies that are banding together to produce the life-saving materials that we need to fight COVID-19. I couldn't be prouder to see San Diegans that are taking this all-hands-on-deck approach against this virus. At today's briefing, I'm going to cover the following topics. First, precautions grocery shoppers, employees, and stores can take to avoid contracting the coronavirus. Second, an update related to the health of our public safety professionals. And third, recognizing San Diegans stepping up to help during this great time of need. First, I've talked to a lot about our public safety professionals and healthcare workers who, as you know, who are out on the front lines of this healthcare crisis. Today, I want to talk about another front line in San Diego, which is our grocery stores. Grocery workers, like so many of our first responders, are on the front lines, serving our communities, our neighborhoods, and our families every single day. This is incredibly important because getting food to San Diegans is critical. In fact, the executive order that I discussed and signed yesterday continues to lift limitations on when grocers can have food delivered to their stores, a move that will help ensure the supply chain moves much more efficiently in San Diego. So I think all of you know stores are really facing a major surge in demand. So everyone is working harder than ever to stock the shelves ahead of the next wave of customers. And as a result, they're putting themselves in greater contact with individuals throughout the community. And today I'm asking all San Diegans, shoppers and workers, to continue to do their part to help stop the spread of COVID-19. Couple items. Don't go to the store or to work, of course, if you're feeling sick. Instead of cash, use credit cards, or even better, your smartphone to pay, if possible. It's a great way to help minimize that personal contact. Another item, don't take your whole family to the store. Keep it to as few shoppers as possible. And of course, customers and employees should always maintain a 6-foot distance while in the grocery store. We're also seeing many grocery stores taking preventive measures themselves. This includes, of course, adjusting their hours of operation, ensuring checkout line management with 6 feet physical distancing rules, and reinforcing over and over the importance of sanitation and worker health, and encouraging employees to contact their employer upon becoming sick so the store can take appropriate and immediate action. Some grocery stores have even taken these preventative measures, continue to take these preventative measures, and we encourage more to do the same. Yesterday, as I think many of you know, county officials announced that 3 grocery store employees contracted COVID-19, highlighting just how important all of these steps are. The measures that we are encouraging today will help reduce the chances that people get sick, whether they work at a grocery store or shop at a grocery store. Earlier today, I had the opportunity to have a conference call with the California Grocers Association President and CEO, Ron Fong, about actions that the industry is taking to help stop this crisis. He reiterated the importance of health and safety for shoppers and workers. He also reiterated the strength of our manufacturing supply. I think this is something that we need to continue to stress. The grocery stores will continue to remain open, and that essential supply lines remain plentiful. Truckloads of groceries every single day continue to come from food suppliers steadily. And we appreciate that all San Diegans have a role in making sure that we're getting that food and that food is on our shelves. But again, I'm encouraging San Diegans to shop for only what you need. There is plenty to go around, and every day there is more on the way. The supply chains and the distribution centers are working. And taking these simple steps to get just what you need is going to ensure that when San Diegans go to the store, the customers and employees remain safe. That's how we're all going to help get through this together. I'm going to turn it over to some folks here in just a second to talk more about that on grocery stores. But before I do, I want to give an update regarding public safety professionals. As part of that daily update, I will continue to do this. Every morning, I, of course, remain updates from Chief Nislight, Chief Stoll, and Chief Gartland to see how all of our frontline troops are continuing to do. Today, the report remains at 7 total positive tests for our public safety professionals. With no new positive tests coming back at this time, I'm going to take this opportunity again to remind San Diegans that staying at home prevents fire, police, and lifeguards from being exposed to this deadly virus. And it continues to help keep all of us safe throughout the entire city. I said it before and I'll say it again. Our first responders, they go to work for you, so you should stay home for them. Now I'd like to turn it over to Todd Walters. As I said, he's with the United Food and Commercial Workers, Local 135, to speak on behalf of the grocery workers across our city that are doing phenomenal service to help keep our stores stocked, to keep these supplies moving, and as I said before, serving our San Diegan families and neighbors day in and day out. Todd?
And thank you, Mayor Faulconer, for taking this time. I reached out to the mayor on Saturday. We were at a food distribution. On Friday, I discovered that the first one of our food workers had become ill with COVID. The reason I'm here today is I want to thank the City of San Diego and the County of San Diego for your patience and support of grocery workers. Our workers continue to go to work, but are asking for more precautions to ensure they limit their exposure. This benefits both the frontline workers and the customers. I know many members who have parents and children like all of you, and they're concerned that they won't be able to take care of them. We are seeing retail and medical locations that are controlling foot traffic to a safe level. And we encourage all of these measures be implemented at all locations. We urge grocery workers to wash their hands every 30 minutes, as well as their workstations, and immediately notify their employers if they are sick. There will be sick retail workers and sick frontline medical workers. It's important that the community take care of them and not shun them or turn them away. These people are part of our community. They're risking their lives to serve us. We urge all retail and medical locations to control unsafe behaviors, bad actors. As a few individuals have been disruptive, and when they're denied purchasing items on limits, they cause unsafe work conditions. I've had grocery clerks who are not able to buy the supplies that they need at the end of their shift because it was out, because people don't want to follow the rules. These are the people that worked all day serving the community. We urge our frontline medical workers in all stores to enforce social distancing. We need to mark spots on the floor for customers and patients where they stand so they know we don't get too close. I've had many workers reach out to me in the last 2 weeks that the stores are being overcrowded and there's no way they can socially distance themselves. This has to stop. And lastly, we urge all retail stores to shorten the hours of operations to allow for workers to restock and sanitize, which benefits us all. We commend those locations who are implementing this practice as proactive and ensures safe and seamless shopping experience for everyone. Thank you to the members of Local 135 for serving your community, and thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for that very important message and another opportunity to thank all of our grocery workers for what they are doing for us every single day. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our City Council President, Georgette Gomez. Council President.
Thank you and good afternoon. I'm Council President Georgette Gomez, and I'm proud to stand here today supporting our grocery, pharmacy, and other essential retail workers. These workers are in the front line on the COVID outbreak. They've been working around the clock, keeping our grocery stores and drugstores open and ensuring that families in our communities have the essential food and supplies they need. Keeping our communities healthy and safe is the first priority, and the workers need strong protections. They're taking care of us. We must also do our part to take care of them. I ask all San Diegans to please follow the sanitation and social distancing guidelines to keep these workers in our communities healthy. If you have to go to the stores, be mindful of everybody around us. Treat them well. They are working hard for all of us. When you have to go and shop, there are things we can all do. Let's do them. Also, this morning, I urge Governor Gavin Newsom to classify grocery, pharmacy, and other categories of essential retail workers as emergency frontline personnel. This classification will provide access for these workers to receive additional protections and benefits they and their families deserve. In honor of Cesar Chavez, let's make sure we are all doing our part and protect one another because we are all in it together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Council President Gomez. Now I'd like to introduce Jim Hayes, who represents a local nonprofit, Stay Home San Diego, to come up and say a few words. I think all of us know that going to the grocery store can be difficult for some, particularly seniors, during this time. Stay Home San Diego, like many local nonprofits, is doing really great things to help the elderly and those that are ill. So, Jim, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mayor, for addressing this topic that's so close to our mission. Stay Home San Diego started exactly 2 weeks ago. It's simple. We know that there's certain people that are more at risk from this virus than we are, and so we shop for them. It started very basically just running out in the morning trying to find the supplies we know that they need. But now we've gotten much smarter, and a lot of businesses have started partnering with us. We're now headquartered out of Firehouse Eatery in Pacific Beach, and we are serving several hundred bags of groceries a day to local seniors and keeping them home safe. We've worked with nurses to make sure we are following the best procedures possible, and it's our belief that it's much safer for a senior to be at home dealing with one person who is carefully catering to what they need, rather than them competing in these grocery stores with hundreds of people. We started basically because we saw the battlefront you described, Mayor, about a lot of people hoarding and trying to buy as many things as they can, and then these senior citizens who don't have the luxury to stock up with 2 months' worth of supplies. A lot of them are on fixed incomes or on Social Security. So they're just buying the weekly supplies that they walk to the store to buy to every day, and they're putting themselves at risk. And it's a very simple, I say it's simple. I represent a crew of people that are working really hard to get the supplies to them. But there's a website and a hotline because a lot of them can't use the computers very well, so they call in all day long. And it's been amazing. And the grocery workers, they are exhausted, and they're doing everything they can. And they work with us to help us all they can. And so we're really grateful that this specific topic is addressed because it's close to our heart.
Jim, thank you so much. That is powerful for all of the right reasons. Before we conclude today, I'd like to share a positive story, as I do, from San Diegans that continue to step up. We all know it's not easy to stay home, understand that, but I cannot stress enough that that is our best defense in the fight against COVID-19. And as we do it for those in our community who are more vulnerable, because while this stay-at-home order may be an inconvenience for some, it is a true lifesaver for others, particularly our seniors, our disabled, our sick, and our young. They are the reasons why we are staying inside. But when they do, they have to leave home to have access to critical medical care or receive free lunch from school, or a variety of other things. One ride share in our organization, in our city, Lyft, has really stepped up to provide a safe, free ride wherever they need to go. The San Diego Lift Up initiative has donated nearly $20,000 to rides to help those that are most in need in our community. They have supported San Diego's nonprofits and groups that are serving these at-risk populations by donating free or discounted rides to social services groups in healthcare, including Elder Help of San Diego, Somali Family Service, Red Cross San Diego, and Feeding San Diego. If an average ride is about 15 bucks, that's more than 1,000 rides that are going to help get at-risk San Diegans to the services that they need in these tough times. So thank you, Lyft. Thank you for making a difference in San Diego, and thank you for stepping up. This is what we continue to see throughout our great city of ours. I encourage everybody to continue to share these stories of San Diegans stepping up to help their neighbors in need, to use that hashtag San Diego Steps Up, because when we get through this, and we will, San Diego will do it because of our unwavering resolve and our spirit that we did this together. With that, I will conclude today's briefing and be available to answer any questions from members of the media.
Good afternoon, Mayor. I've got actually three questions.
Sure.
I guess a combination maybe between you and Mr. Walters. This is with regards to grocery stores.
Yeah.
We've had a number of grocery store employees who are concerned about social distancing, as you were
Yeah.
saying that the stores aren't limiting the amount of people who are going into the stores. Some stores are doing it, some stores are not. Is there anything that you can do as a mayor to make sure that grocery stores limit how many people come in at the
We
same
are
time?
encouraging that, to your question, and I'll turn it back over to Todd. Again, it's helpful for the folks that are shopping. It's incredibly important for our grocery store workers. It helps protect them. It helps protect their health. As I said, we're seeing a lot of stores that are doing this. We want to encourage more to do the same.
More so than encouraging, is there any executive order or anything a little stronger than you can do outside of encouraging? I know this is a free country, but anything that you can do to make sure that companies are doing that, because some are saying that they're not profiting as much, and so they're letting more people inside.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I will let Todd speak here in a second. Again, one of the reasons why it's so important to not only our Grocers Association, but our grocery workers. We're all in this together. We've got great examples of San Diego stores that are doing the right thing. It's not only important for the stores, but it's important for the public to respect that as well. Again, the issues of when you go to the store, go by yourself, don't bring your whole family. That's incredibly important. That's going to help out on some of the crowds that we're seeing in other places. So getting this message out, how important it is, not only having our stores and our workers work closely together, but again, because it's going to have that distance that we all need. Todd, I'm happy to have you jump up and anything else, because their workers have really been on the front lines of this.
Yeah, that's been an issue, and in the very peak of this, our stores were doing double and triple their normal sales, and it was very chaotic. Things have slowed down. I think we're seeing about 40 to 50% increase of normal sales, and what I'm seeing the most right now is everybody thinks that 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning is the best time to shop. It is not. I find that if you go at 11 or 12 or 1, you find that you can get better groceries or the same groceries and not have the crowd. We're also finding that a lot of stores are not curfew stores, meaning some of the stores in residential neighborhoods, they don't get loads from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So everybody rushes in there at 8 o'clock in the morning. That load doesn't come until 2 in the afternoon. So spread out the shopping. Our members have been calling our union reps, reporting stores that have no controls on the door. We've been addressing that when it happens. We've handed out the reps have actually had to call the police department on some occasions to get the fire marshal. I don't think it's ever come down to that. I think once we talk to the store managers, they deal with it, and we fix it there.
Yeah, and real quick, can you just readdress that? Because, I mean, that's a continuous issue that I keep hearing from people over and over again, is that how are you regulating the number of people that are going in to the stores? Some stores are doing it on their own, some stores are not. So how are you addressing that with the store owners and management?
As of last week, a lot of the stores had people at the door regulating, counting people going in, people going out. This week, the sales have dropped, and they've quit doing the monitoring in a lot of the locations because hasn't been as big an issue this week. I found that it tends to be in waves, and so they're having a hard time knowing when to get up there. But when it does happen, we're having union members that will text us or call us. We'll call that manager and get somebody down there. We've had conference calls with Kroger and with Albertsons Vons upper management this week, and we've discussed some of these issues with them.
So you're looking for change in the future with regards to this, essentially?
Yes.
Okay. Other question I had was for the mayor also. Going back to business, we were talking about this last week, the foreclosures and things of that nature. What about those? There are some people who own multiple properties who are saying that the banks aren't necessarily working with them. What would you say to those folks out there who say the banks aren't working with them?
Yeah, that is, mortgage relief is incredibly important. It's at the other end of that spectrum. And particularly for a lot of folks that, to your point, own just, one property, maybe two properties. And so some of the actions that came from the state that were announced last week in some of our largest lending institutions should help with that, because you need that mortgage relief. And I would say to anybody in that category, ensure that you are talking to your lender, because there's been a lot of changes, particularly in the last 5 days, that should help give that mortgage relief.
And last question is with regards to small businesses. The Small Business Relief Fund is out there, $6 million. There are some small businesses that are part of franchisers, franchisees, but they're not going to be able to apply for that assistance. Is there any relief that they might be able to get, the small business as part of a franchise, that may not get help from the franchise?
Yeah, great question. And also to your point, we saw the incredible demand that shows how great the need is, and why we started this with the large amount that we had of $6 million, but we need more. We need more because small businesses are the backbone of our economy in San Diego. 90% of all our businesses are small businesses. And this is one of many things that keeps me up at night. But how do we make sure that we have that infrastructure for people to come back to those businesses once we get on the other side of this? And so we're looking at ways to not only to add dollars to that fund, but to your point, hopefully expand some of those folks that will be eligible to it, not only in combination with what we're doing here at the city, but also some of the federal stimulus in the state, because that is a huge, huge need right now for so many San Diego families.
So that would be contingent upon getting more money, essentially?
It will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Hey there, Kasha from Fox.
Kasha.
Just a quick question for Todd. You mentioned limiting hours, recommending for grocery stores to limit hours. So I'm just wondering if Todd has any guidance for the grocery
Todd,
stores on a time frame that you would recommend. We have seen some shorten hours, but what is your recommendation there?
So last week, a lot of our retailers were open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., something similar to that. This week, we noticed that a lot of them started expanding hours again. The problem we're seeing is that the stocking that has to be done, the workers don't need somebody, don't want people standing and reaching over them, getting into their space. The stores that have opened up later hours, and even some of our union stores have done that, we're still fighting with that. It's causing problems with the workers, and we're trying to get it back to narrow it down. The shopping patterns are extremely unpredictable right now. They're going up and down, and we're still encouraging the operators to do something similar to an 8 to 8. It allows for the shelves to be full, the product to be put away and easily accessed, and we don't have train wrecks or people trying to run aisles and causing problems.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Todd. If that concludes our questions, again, I want to thank all of our speakers here today for what they're doing to help keep San Diegans safe. These tips and these guidelines are very important for our grocery workers to help follow that and to ensure that we have those supply chains. So thank you all. That concludes today's briefing. Thank you, San Diego, for continuing to step up.